You know, after 10 years, deans begin to get tired. It's like running the mile relay. You take the baton from the other fellow and you start out at a very fast pace, but by the time you're coming around that 440 yards toward the end, you're slowing down a bit. But Arjay has given it a new thrust, and that was my theory in terms of leaving the business school. People say, don't you miss it? Of course I miss it. It was the most stimulating, most wonderful 10 years I've ever spent. But I do love what I'm doing now, but I will never forget that most wonderful 10 years. But I think the best thing that ever happened to the business school was after 10 years, get a new dean with a new push, a new thrust, and that's exactly what you have. The polls indicate Stanford's #1. I looked at some of the statistics. It hurt me to do so because I said, well, now, where were we in '67, which was my last year, and where are we now? And I'm the only one that can talk about this, even though it hurts. And there are 2 or 3 statistics that cause me a special kind of trauma, but the one that really hurts most, because as you think about it, it can get quite personal, is that I worked very hard and got 6 women in the school in 1967, and Arjay has 20 times that number, or 119. Arjay, it's a special privilege for me. First, as the next dean, I salute you. As an alumnus, I just want to tell you what great pride we have in this institution, and I think I speak for all of you. And third, it's a special privilege for me to present this award to you as a close personal friend. Will you come up here, please, and take it?
I've always thought that a sense of humor helps a successful executive, but tonight I believe Ernie has more than his fair share. As he had just announced at Bill Lowe's party last May, he did announce confidentially that I was to receive this honored Arbuckle Award. It came as a complete surprise, and I was so flabbergasted I couldn't say anything but sputter for a few minutes. On behalf of the faculty and staff of the Stanford Business School, it is my distinct pleasure here tonight to present to Mr. Ernest C. Arbuckle not 1 but 3 new awards. These have been carefully selected by those who know him best to fill a gap in his distinguished career. On numerous occasions, Ernie has received public recognition for his contributions to business, education, and public service. At no time, however, has his prowess on the athletic field been properly acknowledged. The need to rectify this gap becomes all the more urgent when it is recognized that Ernie's secret ambition has always been to be a great athlete. So on with the show. Our first award was recovered at great effort and with the full cooperation of the janitor from the bowels of the old Encina gym. And we have here tonight the very javelin by which Ernie rose to fame as a member of Dick Templeton's 1932 track and field team. The story of how Ernie got on the team is in itself very interesting. As one of several volunteer assistant track managers, his assigned task one day was to throw the javelin back to the real athletes who were practicing. Dick Templeton happened to notice that Ernie was returning the javelin further than it was being thrown by the regular members of the team. Accordingly, Dick entered Ernie in the next meet, and he went on to earn his Block S and claim to immortality. I'd like now to read the inscription on this javelin. In recognition of his unique contribution, both on and off the field, this game spear is awarded to Ernest Cummings Arbuckle, Athlete Extraordinary. I note here that the space for entering the distance of Ernie's record toss is left blank, because I understand the number gets a little bigger each year. Ernie, will you please come forward and demonstrate the championship form in which you hold this thing? I'm not going to let him take the mic, I'll tell you that. The second award recognizes Ernie's immortality as a softball pitcher. Each year at Spring Fling, the GSB faculty play the students, and during his entire decade as dean, Ernie was always the self-selected pitcher on the faculty team. Some indication of his enthusiastic participation is indicated by the fact that in 6 out of 10 years, Ernie threw his arm out. He had to eat left-handed for a week. His back and leg muscles took even longer to recover, especially during the latter years. But his efforts were not entirely in vain, because in his best game, he actually held the students to only 23 hits and 11 walks. So I hereby award Ernie for location among the many mementos that he's collected over the years, but not enough on the athletic field, this ball inscribed as follows: Students 27, Faculty 2. Awarded to Ernest C. Arbuckle for his awe-inspiring performance as a pitcher, Spring Fling, May 11, 1968. Our last award recognizes Ernie's skill on the athletic sidelines as a cheerleader without peer. Ernie's ability as an inspired yell leader is well documented by his performance as red-hot prof in leading the Stanford's cheering section at the 1967 Oregon football game in a resounding rendition of the Axe Yell. Bill Lowe has the sweater that Ernie wore on that historic occasion. I ask Bill to come forward now and help Ernie put it on to see if he can still get in it. I'll hold his pair for you, Ernie. I close with one final request. Will you all rise and with your applause indicate you join me in requesting Ernie lead us one more time in the Axe Yell?
Well, all right, as long as we're going to do it. We better do it right. Do you remember how it goes?